Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Buxton Barrow Man, where I go through Buxton's history and clean up the town at the same time. Once again, I had the need to go on a long wander, so today's episode is about Chelmorton. Located roughly 4 miles southeast of Buxton is the village of Chelmorton, with a rough population of 320 people. And it mainly consists of two halves. The first is on the road called the Ditch, nothing more than a few houses and a farm. Then the other half is on Main Street, where the vast majority of Chelmorton is built upon. As you walk up the main street, the first major building to appear on the left is Town End Farm, originally built in 1634, and is a lovely building with 4 prominent Venetian windows. The next notable building is also on the left, Primitive Hall, which is an old Methodist chapel built in 1874. A gorgeous building which is now a holiday let. Not much further up, and now on the right, is the War Memorial Institute, which opened in 1922 in memoriam to those in the local area who served in the Great War. Continuing up the street, also on the right, is Chelmorton Pound, or Pinfold. This is a small dry stone wall pen which was used to hold livestock which ventured out of the owner's land and onto the common, where the livestock would be transported there and looked after at the expense of the owner. Pinders were the people in charge of this, and the owner could either pay the pinder for the release of the livestock, or if no possession was claimed, they were sold at market. Chelmorton's pinfold was last used in the end of the 19th century, with the last pinder sworn in on Lady Day 1845. Further up on the left is a stone telephone box, which is the only one in the country. Still on the left hand side, we pass the old school, and then some troughs. These troughs make a part of a whole system of 7 located alongside the main street, all connected together with a grit stone channel. These two are the last remaining troughs, and the village water supply used to come from a stream at the top of Main Street, but has long been switched over, with water coming from Lady Bower Reservoir in Hope Valley instead. Practically at the end of Main Street is the Church Inn, a pub on the left hand side, and the St John's Church on the right. This church is an amalgamation of many different years of additions and changes, but the earliest written record of a church being here is from 1256, but some believe there was once an oak beam in the building which marked with the year 1111. 1111? I don't really know how you're supposed to say that year. 1111. At the top of the spire of the church is a golden locust weather vane, and the church bells have come from a village called Derwent, which almost all of it now sits under the water of the Lady Bower Reservoir. We are at the end of the street now, but that isn't all about Chelmorton, as there's a few things I haven't mentioned. The first is the name, which I believe is to be Old English for someone's name. I'm going to butcher this. Colmere, and Dun, which Dun means hill, which is very similar to Chelmsford. Instead of Colmere Hill, it's Colmere's Fort. Oh, and the second thing I haven't mentioned is the name of the village's water source, that stream, as I couldn't believe it's called this. Are you ready? It's called Illy Willy. Okay. Anyway, there's one final part of this video before I do the cleaning up bit at the end, and this involves walking up the old rakes and up above the village on the hilltops. As there is an old tomb, and I mean really old, this is a Neolithic tomb called 5 Wells, and it's believed to be built between 3400 and 2400 BC. It was first discovered in 1846 by the archaeologist Thomas Bateman. 12 skeletons were found by Thomas, and further excavations from other archaeologists in 1862 and 1901 found more remains, pottery, flint tools, as well as a separate coffin. Now I'll leave links down below for Chelmorton and the location of the tomb if you wish to visit, but as always, be respectful to the locals and the history. Now, back in Buxton, I didn't clean rubbish for this episode. I actually did the thing that started all of this off, cleaning the lake in the Pavilion Gardens. Of course, as the council still haven't learned their lesson on that. All of this was clogging the drain. Oh, and also this week, I donated blood for the first time, which I highly recommend doing so if you are fit and able to. And that is it from me this week. Until next time, ta-ra. Oh my god, it's actually called Illy Willy water. Can't believe it.